And it's a magnificent goal for Brazil. What a strike from the number 10. They are celebrating now.
See this focus on efficiency and just how quickly the game was decided. I mean, the analysis points out the result was basically locked in during that first half.
When they got the 2-0 lead.
Right. Once they had that advantage, the strategy just clearly shifted to defense and ball retention. The rest of the match became that pure defensive test Ancelotti wanted.
Let's talk about the goals then, the execution of that early advantage. Brazil's attack is always just stacked.
Yeah.
We saw the usual guys, Vinicius Jr., Rodrigo, all that pace. But it seems like Richarlison, the veteran, was the one who made the first breakthrough.
He was crucial. Richarlison's goal, the first one, was so important because the notes highlighted it showed he's retaining his good form, his rhythm.
Yeah.
For a striker who can be a bit inconsistent sometimes, opening the scoring in a match with this much psychological weight, it's a massive boost for him and for the team.
And the second goal came from Lucas Paqueta, which is kind of a testament to that midfield stability we were just talking about, right?
Yeah.
An excellent clinical finish. Put him 2-0 up.
That's right. And that 2-goal cushion, it just created the perfect scenario for the defensive test to really begin. The real story of this match is actually the second half.
Yeah.
It was purely about keeping that clean sheet.
And proving the defense could be, what was the phrase?
As the analysis dramatically put it, an impenetrable wall.
Impenetrable wall. I like it. But what specifically made it impenetrable? We need the details. Who were the anchors in that structure?
Well, the central defensive partnership of Marquinhos and Eder Militão was just phenomenal. If you look at the tactical breakdown, their discipline was the absolute key.
Okay.
They kept this consistent high-line pressure, but they also made sure they weren't pulled out of position by Senegal's wide players, which is so hard to do. One lapse and it's a quick break.
So they weren't just sitting deep. They were actively managing the space in front of them.
Absolutely. One of the most telling details in our notes is that their positioning, their anticipation, it was so good that they prevented any shots from even reaching the goal mouth in key moments.
Wow.
So this wasn't about great saves from the keeper. This was about completely neutralizing the threat before it even became a real chance. They forced Senegal into bad shots from bad angles. That kind of control is like the ultimate measure of success for this defensive strategy.
And we can't forget the guys in front of them. The midfield shield must have been essential to stop Marquinhos and Militão from being isolated.
Oh, that structural integrity depends entirely on it. The midfield line has to work with the defense. The second line of defense, the guys whose job it is to destroy play, they were just crucial in shutting down those central lanes that Senegal likes to attack through.
I see.
It stops the opposition from playing those sharp vertical passes that can break a compact defense. The sources confirm it was a total collective effort, which then allowed the defenders to just focus on their specific jobs, and that builds incredible confidence.
Which brings us to Senegal, because you only get a real final test if you're playing against a real threat.
For sure.
And despite the loss, Senegal is an organized, physical team. They definitely didn't just roll over in the second half.
Not at all. Senegal's coach made immediate changes at halftime. He brought on fresh legs to inject some pace, try to stretch Brazil's new compact shape.
Right.
And while, they were missing Sadio Mane, which is a huge loss for any team, the notes are clear. They still had their best available attackers on the pitch, guys known for challenging out wide.
So what's fascinating then is why they failed. It wasn't a lack of effort or talent. It was Ancelotti's system being better on the day.
Precisely. Senegal got more aggressive. They tried to use their speed, make direct runs to get past the midfield. But because Ancelotti's side was so disciplined, Senegal's shots, they were just continuously low percentage chances.
So lots of shots, but no real quality.
Exactly. The defenders forced them wide of the post or straight at the Brazilian keeper. He was rarely tested with a truly difficult shot because of all the work done in front of him. The defense was the real decisive factor in keeping that 0 on the board.
It really sounds like this match confirms that Brazil, under Ancelotti, isn't just relying on their traditional strengths anymore, the dazzling attack. They're adding this layer of tactical steel, of organization that you could argue they've lacked in the past.
And to connect this all back for you, the listener, this 2-0 win was a breakthrough. It wasn't just a friendly. It secured a critical historical record. It banished the ghost of that 4-2 defeat. But its real lasting significance is tactical. It proved that Ancelotti's big test of compact football actually worked. It worked against a determined, high-quality opponent. It confirms that the defense, led by Marquinhos and Militão, can be relied on to deliver a clean sheet when it matters.
And that kind of structural validation, that changes everything for Brazil moving forward. It suggests they now have the flexibility to win in different ways, not just the beautiful way.
Which raises an important question, right? If Brazil is successfully shifting toward this compact football, prioritizing efficiency, prioritizing a ruthless defense, what does this imply for them in future tournaments? Are they signaling that they finally learned how to win ugly? And is that necessary adaptation the final piece of the puzzle for Brazil to, reclaim that top spot in world football?
That is the essential question. Is pragmatic winning the new standard? A fantastic thought for you to carry forward as you watch the evolution of Brazil.
Vamos.